everyone, so we just wrapped up Black Maternal Health Week. It runs every year from April 11th through April 17th. It's actually one of those topics that's very near and dear to me. I'm very passionate about maternal mortality, particularly amongst Black women. So I figured I'd come on at the tail end of Black Maternal Health Week to talk about my passion in law, but also my passion for maternal health. The CDC put out some numbers and some very horrifying statistics. They stated that more than 80% of pregnancy-related deaths in the United States are preventable, and things like recognizing urgent maternal warnings, advocating for yourself, providing timely treatment, and delivering quality care. These are some things that we can do to prevent many pregnancy-related deaths. On the topic of Black maternal health, it's also stated that Black women are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause than white women. And so, unfortunately, stating the obvious, which is racism, Black women are in these hospitals and they're suffering from severe injuries, and they're often being dismissed or ignored in healthcare settings. Because of that reason why it's so important, because pregnancy should not be a task that mothers take on alone. It truly does take a village from the moment of inception to the delivery. What's your birthing plan? For that reason, what is your birthing plan? Who's in your birthing plan? Every person and pillar in your birthing plan should be a non-stop advocate for you before labor, during labor, and after labor. It's not really an obvious discussion that connects law with medicine unless it's some sort of catastrophic stage of some malpractice, but maternal health and estate planning, they actually do coincide, and I'm here to talk about that today. Hi, my name's Leah Boston. I'm an estate planning attorney here in the state of Maryland and owner of law office of Leah Boston, LLC. So you're having a baby. You've contacted your primary health provider or your OBGYN, and you're in the midst of coming up with a birthing plan. Congratulations. But also, have you contacted your estate planning attorney yet? It's not one of those things that we think about, but you definitely should contact your estate planning attorney, especially spewing out those statistics that the CDC has stated about pregnancy-related deaths, and trying to avoid that. Really good to contact your estate planning attorney and have estate planning be part of your birthing plan, because estate planning not only shields you from the bad outcomes, but it takes care of those good outcomes too. This is why in life we try to prepare for all sorts of outcomes, and being prepared with your OBGYN but also your estate planning attorney, it kind of goes hand in hand. But what exactly are you going to discuss with your estate planning attorney? Well, for starters, there's something that we call here in Maryland, which is a living will or an advance directive. So these terms are interchangeable. This is a legal document that states what types of treatments you want in different sorts of situations and how aggressively you want your doctors to treat you, or if you want a more hands-off approach and you want to be kept comfortable and pain-free. This advance directive is going to communicate at what point you want a natural death instead of being kept alive by ventilators, feeding tubes, or other means. These are things we don't think about, but you know what? The advance directive does the talking for you. All you have to do is be in charge of making the choice and stating what you want to happen. It's important to know what your rights are and what choices that you can make, and being in charge of your own health care. These are documents that can help ensure your wishes are carried out. But even further, if you're too ill or unable to communicate your choices clearly, this living will or advance directive, it's going to speak for you. And although this may sound scary, nothing is more scarier than deathbed or critical condition planning. You would be surprised the opposite feelings that people have, and the feelings that overcome a person when they know they're planning ultimately for peace and order instead of chaos and confusion. It truly is one of the most highest forms of love that you can have for yourself, for your baby, and those around you, to designate a plan and to make sure that you are safe, your baby's safe, and that there's no guessing game being involved. Let's address the obvious. You now have a baby, so congratulations. or a minor child, the law likes to call it, no matter what, you want to make sure that your new baby is taken care of. In most cases, things are gonna go well, but if problems arise, being in communication with not only your OBGYN, but your estate planning attorney, it can help cover those unforeseen events or circumstances. So what are these types of documents or estate planning, mechanisms? What are these types of mechanisms that we can put in place to help, cover that unforeseen? I stated earlier the advance directive or the living will, but another is going to be a will. This is going to direct and set forth who you've chosen to be your child's guardian. If anything else, set forth in the will who is your child's guardian. Do not, and I repeat, do not leave your child orphaned for 1 second. Let the intended guardian be chosen before the babies even arrived. Let the guardian know so they can be at the hospital too. Family, friends, and the courts should not have to guess who you intend, or even worse, make the wrong choice about who your child's guardian is going to be. Another helpful tool is going to be a trust, because the assets are owned by the trust and you can actually choose, or your chosen trustee is going to manage these assets in the trust. During the life of the trust, the assets can be invested, they can be distributed as needed for the health, the education, the maintenance and support of your child on the behalf of your child and for the benefit of the child. This is why a trust is very powerful. But also a trust is powerful because the state of Maryland does not allow a minor child to contract or own property. So in the event of something happening, your minor child can't contract, can't basically take that gift that you have for them, but a trust is going to safeguard those assets and ensure that your child is taken care of and that those assets are being distributed as needed. And you've already set that plan up because you've already, like I said, you've contacted your OBGYN, but you've also contacted your estate planning attorney, and everything is in place and you've already decided how you want the assets to be distributed, how you want those assets to benefit your child. So you're probably thinking, well, I've survived and now I have this trust, so who's the trustee now? Actually, trustees are usually the creator. So when you create the trust, you can actually appoint yourself as the trustee, which means you're going to manage the property or the assets inside of the trust while you are alive and while you have the capacity and are able to. But then you also appoint successor trustees, and these people are going to come in place. The people that you've chosen, they're going to come in place in the event when you are unable to do so, whether that's incapacity or death. It's like a seamless transition between you as the original trustee and then your successor trustee stepping in the event of something horrible happening. Like I said, during these unfortunate situations, you've already planned ahead for it. You've spoken with your estate planning attorney, and horrible things happening does not necessarily mean that you can't at least mitigate it or make it less harmful or make the hurt less, if that makes sense. As you can see, there are options all around you, but it's time that we get real about taking care of ourselves, because while there are some genetic predispositions that we can't entirely fight, and of course a room full of structural racism, there are some things that we as women can do to be in charge of our bodies and be a piece of advocacy not only for ourselves but for our babies. So happy Black Maternal Health Week 2024, and with every birthing plan, be sure to include your estate planning attorney in that piece, because we too are advocate voices in your maternal plans. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below or contact my office at www.leahbostonlaw.com, and I'm happy to help get you started. And once again, happy Black Maternal Health Week 2024, and I look forward to seeing you next year.